A baby zombie villager on a chicken with fully enchanted diamond armor, holding an enchanted iron sword in its left hand, has a 1 in whatever this number is chance to spawn. And well, that's not the only rare mob in Minecraft. There are tons more. And I'm going to collect every single one of them. Now, if I'm going to collect every rare mob, I need a place to put them. So let's just... Perfect. This is where we'll put them. Now, to start collecting these rare mobs, I'm going to start with the rare ones, and then we'll work all the way up to the super rare mobs. And oh, no, wait, we've already found a pink sheep. Oh. Wait a second, it's just a pig. Okay, false alarm. Now, the first mob that we'll work on getting is the sniffer, because it's the easiest rare mob to get, and as I said, the mobs will get harder and harder to collect as the video goes on, to the point we are going to have to risk our world to get some of them, and even get a mob that no one has in their hardcore world yet. Anyway, though, to get the sniffer, we have to brush a bunch of suspicious sand and gravel to get a sniffer egg. Oh, there we go, finally, we got the egg. Now, before we put the sniffer in our rare mob area, let's grab some blocks for decoration, so that we can theme each area like the mob. I want these guys to feel like they're at home in this place. So now that the first enclosure's done, we can go ahead and place down the sniffer egg. And now that it's hatched, we have officially collected our first rare mob. Oh, and to make sure these mobs don't despawn, I'll have to name tag all of them. So, Flint and Steel. Anyway, let's go and collect the next rare mob, which is the brown mushroom. You get this thing by having a normal mushroom get struck by lightning. Now, to be able to strike things with lightning, we need a trident with the channeling enchant. Aha, we found a drowned with a trident. Now, we just need you to drop it. Hey, come on, and we didn't get one. But maybe one of these drowns can drop theirs. So, let's head over and take both of these guys out just like this, and oh, it dropped its trident. Let's go. So, let's keep on enchanting this thing until we get the channeling enchant. And now that we have it, we'll also add mending on this thing. Now, what makes the brown mushroom so rare is that it can only be found on mushroom islands. So I guess let's just explore until we find one. Oh, yes, it took longer than expected, but we have found a mushroom island. But even though we're here, we still cannot get the brown mushroom because we have to wait for a thunderstorm. This could take weeks. Oh, wait, that was thunder. That was thunder. I heard that. Okay, we gotta go quick. We gotta go quick. Okay, let's strike lightning onto this mushroom. Wait, what? Do I have to hit the mushroom? Oh, I do. Okay, there we go. Now, just to be on the safe side, I'm gonna try bring back more than one of these, just in case anything bad happens. Now, I'm pretty sure I brought some leads with us. So, let's grab both of these brown mushrooms and bring them back to our rare mob area. Okay, we're back home, and we need to bring this thing right here. Now, yes, there's only one left because the other one died, so good thing I did bring two. Okay, now we just need to land really slowly to make sure this thing doesn't die. Okay, let's bring this thing in here. Okay, now the reason I'm not gonna decorate this enclosure straight away is because there's actually a very rare mob that we can collect while it's still thunderstorming. And this is the charged creeper. So I think it's still lightning. Let's just go ahead and see. Okay, boom. There it is. Now we need to bring this thing over without dying. This is going to be very hard. No, 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 no. Oh, oh, oh. Half a heart. And I don't have a totem. Oh my goodness. Oh. Okay, I'm scared the thunderstorm's going to end. We need to hurry up and do this. What the? Wait. Is this a rare mob? Okay, you know what? Let's not worry about that. Okay, come on. There we go. Okay, it's swimming towards us, and I think I have a good idea of how we can get it in here. Okay, let's quickly try making some trapdoors like this, and let's maybe just try trapping it down here. And now, if we put some cobblestone just like this, the creeper should fall in. Yes! Okay, it's down there. We'll go ahead and give it the name Bob, so let's just quickly go ahead and do it like that. Okay, I've just realized I also forgot to name the brown mushroom, so we'll call it Moo, because it's a cow. And now that both of these guys have name tags, we'll get to work building their enclosures. So for the brown mushroom, we'll go ahead and collect some mushroom island blocks. And now that we have these, we'll go ahead and decorate the enclosure. Alright, now let's build the charged creeper enclosure. And to do it, we're going to mix in some green concrete with some black concrete. And we'll even add some blue concrete to make it look like a charged creeper. And also some TNT, which I'll probably regret adding later. Anyway, we'll finish this off by placing down some glass. Now we somehow have to get the creeper in here. Now I think if we build a tunnel behind this enclosure, we can then get the creeper to follow us down it. And now the thing is, how do we put the blocks back down there? What if we run really quick? Boom, boom. And then we can put the glass back down. There we go. We have officially trapped the charged creeper. So far, we now have 3 rare mobs. Anyway, though, things are looking pretty cool in here so far, but we have a long way to go. So let's get to work getting the next rare mob. And for this rare mob, we have to be in a mangrove swamp because the mob we're looking for is the green frog. Now, this thing does not spawn naturally, which makes it rare. Now, to actually get this thing, we need to grab some slime balls, and then using these, we can breed 2 frogs together so that we can get some tadpoles. And while we wait for these tadpoles to grow, we'll grab some blocks from the mangrove swamp so we can decorate their enclosure later. And take a look at that. The tadpoles are now here, so we'll grab one of these. And well, seeing as I don't need the other tadpoles, I'm gonna have to leave them here, so I hope nothing bad happens to these guys. Now, the final thing that we need to do to get the green frog is let this tadpole grow up in a cold biome. Now, for some reason, the low temperature makes it so when this tadpole grows up, it becomes green. Now, if we feed it some slime balls, we can actually make it grow faster. So any minute now, it should grow up. And there we go. We now have the rarest frog in Minecraft, which means it's time to bring this thing back to our rare mob area. Now, you have to be really careful when you're flying with mobs. We can't let this thing die of full damage. Come on, we're almost here. And the frog is still alive. So we'll bring this thing into its new prison, I mean home. And we will name this guy, and we'll name this guy Spike. We'll also, of course, make this area look like a mangrove swamp. So let's clear out some space. Now let's get to decorating. Alright, looking good. That is another mob checked off the list. And if you're wondering where the frog's gone, it's still in there. It's just under the lily pad for some reason. It's almost like the frog is scared and it's hiding from me. I mean, there's definitely no reason why it would be scared of me, right? Anyway, for the next mob, we need to head over to a village because this next rare mob is an extremely rare variant of a villager. In fact, there's 2 of these rare variants. Now, to get the first rare variant, we need to breed villagers in a jungle. So let's quickly capture 2 villagers in a boat so they don't go anywhere. And now that we have 2 villagers that we can breed, the hard part is getting them to the biome that we need. Now, for the first variant, of course, we have to breed them in a jungle, which shouldn't be too hard because there's literally a jungle right there. We're just gonna have to put them on a minecart to get them over here. Now, getting a bunch of iron to build rails should not be a problem because in a previous hardcore episode, I mined 50,000 ores. So yeah, I have a ton of iron. So let's use it to make some rails, and we'll also use some gold to make some powered rails. Now, with all of this stuff, we should pretty easily be able to get these villagers over to the jungle. And now that these villagers are in a jungle, when we breed them, they should give us a jungle villager. Now, the jungle villager cannot spawn naturally, making it one of the rarest villagers. Now, are we going to get one here? Yes, there's a baby villager. But wait a second, that's not a jungle villager. Did I do something wrong? Maybe we just have to try again. All right, let's hope this works. So now there's more villagers in here. They should breed again. And hopefully this time we can get ourselves the jungle villager. All right, the villagers have had a baby and I've lost it. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. And yes, it has worked. That is the jungle villager. Now, the easiest way to transport this villager is put it in a boat. Okay, here we are. I am very lucky that I live right next to a jungle because getting this guy here was actually pretty easy. Now, on the other hand, the other rare villager that we need to get is not going to be so easy. Now, this villager variant is a swamp villager, and well, the swamp is much further away from my base. So when we get this thing, we're going to have to transport it through the nether. Now, this is perfect. There is a swamp right next to a village, so getting the villager to the swamp is going to be easy. So let's quickly go ahead and do that, and then, of course, we'll breed these villagers to get a swamp villager. Now, to get this thing back to our rare mob area, we are going to need to go into the nether. And now that we're here, we need an ender pearl. And using this ender pearl, we can get onto the roof of the nether. And now, if we build a portal in this exact spot, we get brought out at this exact portal. So now that those portals are linked, we should pretty easily be able to transport this villager back to our house. So let's head into the portal and then head all the way in this direction. We can then bring a portal here, which should hopefully bring us back to our rare mob area. Okay, the portal didn't bring us exactly where we need to be, but it's close enough. Our house is literally over there. And just like that, we now have both of the rarest villagers in Minecraft. So let's of course decorate their enclosure, and with that done, we have officially added even more mobs into the rare mob collection. But so far, we've pretty much only captured rare mobs, which means we still have all of the very rare mobs to get, and also all of the super rare mobs. And so far, the mobs have been easy to capture compared to what we're going to have to do later. So if we want to start making some serious progress, we're gonna have to get faster at collecting each of these mobs. Otherwise, by the time I finish this project, I'm gonna have an entire family, 10 kids, and maybe even be retired. Okay, maybe that was a little bit extreme, but anyway, the next mob we have to get is an Enderman holding mycelium. Now, we've already got the mycelium, so all we have to do is get an Enderman to hold it. And if you're wondering why this mob is rare, it's because no hostile mobs can spawn on a mushroom island, which means there's no way that an Enderman could pick up a mycelium block naturally. Now, seeing as it's nighttime, it should be pretty easy to find an Enderman. All we have to do is keep our eyes peeled, and wait a second, there's one right there. So let's go over to it and try and get it to pick up some mycelium. Now, right now, we can't do anything because these skeletons aren't leaving me alone! Ha! Take that. So if I put mycelium all around this Enderman, it should hopefully pick one of these up. So let's break the bow and... oh, okay, that was way faster than I thought. So now we just have to get this Enderman back in a bow and... where'd it go? What is it doing? Why are you running away? There's no escape for you here. Oh, maybe there is. This Enderman, for some reason, just does not want to cooperate right now. What is going on? Bro, just accept your fate. Get in the boat. What? All right, you are not getting away this time. Get in. Get in. Yes, we have captured the Enderman holding mycelium. Why is it looking at you guys like that? Anyway, it's in the rare mob area, so let's build its enclosure. Now, to theme this enclosure like an Enderman, I'm gonna take out some squids so we can make some black dye. Now, we can use this to make black concrete powder, and then we'll also make some purple concrete powder. Because what I want to do for this Enderman enclosure is make it kind of look like an Enderman is holding onto mycelium. Oh, and we also have to put buttons on the floor of this enclosure, just so the Enderman doesn't place the mycelium block anywhere. Now, the enclosure's done, and I've just realized something. Couldn't the Enderman just teleport out of here? Yeah, we should probably put it back in its boat. Okay, yeah, now this guy's definitely not escaping. And now with this Enderman trapped, we only have one more mob to get until we move on to the very rare section. And now the final mob that we need to get for the rare section is found here, a pillager outpost. Because the mob we need to get is a peaceful pillager. So let's quickly take out all of these guys, and we'll make sure to leave one. And now to get this guy to become a peaceful pillager, we need him to keep shooting his crossbow until it breaks. And once this pillager's crossbow breaks, it will become completely peaceful. Now also, as you can see, because the pillager's in a boat, every time it shoots its crossbow, it completely misses. So we're able to pretty much sit here and do nothing until the crossbow breaks. This pillager must have had 1,000,000 arrows in that crossbow because that took forever. But anyway, as you can see, this pillager is not attacking us because its crossbow has broke. Now, before we take you back to your new enclosure, we'll quickly fly over to this outpost to grab some blocks from it, so we have stuff to decorate the peaceful pillager's enclosure with. And now we have all of that stuff, let's get this guy back home. And let's build your enclosure. And of course, we can theme this one exactly like a pillager outpost. Now, with this being done, we have now collected every single mob in the rare category. But now, this is where things start to get a little more difficult. Because the first mob in the very rare category is found here in the jungle. And, well, it's a panda, but not a panda like this. You see, there's two extremely rare pandas you can get in Minecraft. One of them being the Snottynosed Panda, also known as the weak panda. And, well, the way to see if a panda's a Snottynosed Panda is by looking under its nose and seeing if there's any sort of green snot. It's actually quite disgusting. Anyway, though, there's no real way to find this mob other than just looking around. I mean, I guess we could keep breeding pandas until we find it, but I want to see if we can find it naturally, because that would just add a little bit of extra rareness to the mob. But yeah, if it takes longer than like 5 to 10 hours to find, I'll just resort to breeding pandas. Now, knowing how rare the Snottynosed Panda is, I thought it would be one of the hardest mobs to find up until this point. But, well, after flying over multiple jungles, I got very lucky. Wait, is this it? Oh my goodness, that's it, that's it. That's a baby Snottynosed Panda. Is that even more rare? Oh my goodness. Okay, wait, go down here. Yep, that is definitely the Snottynosed Panda. Now, I think the perfect name for this guy is Snot. Oh, it's sneezing. I had no idea it did that. Anyway, though, I've now connected a portal to bring the Snottynosed Panda through, and now using the nether roof once again, we'll head back home. Now, we got really lucky finding this panda, but as you heard me say earlier, there's two rare pandas that you can get, and well, the second one that we have to get later is not going to be as easy as this one. But luckily for us, we don't have to worry about that now. We can worry about that later. Now we have the Snottynosed Panda in the rare mob area, and with this guy's magic sneeze, his enclosure will be built. That was definitely magic. I didn't just spend a bunch of time building this thing. Anyway, with the Snottynosed Panda now added to the collection, it's now time for us to go on the lookout for a snowy mountain, because that's where the next very rare mob spawns. Ooh, take a look at that, a pale garden. Actually, wait a second. The reason we needed to find a snowy mountain was to get a very rare mob called the Screaming Goat. But we might have to put that on hold for a second, because there's a very rare mob we can get here, which is, of course, the Creaking. Now, luckily for us, we don't have to get a Creaking to spawn here and then bring it back to our base. I'm pretty sure all we need is the item called the Creaking Heart. And with a Creaking Heart, we can pretty much spawn a Creaking anywhere we want, I'm pretty sure. The only thing is, I'm not too familiar with this biome, and I have no idea how to get a Creaking Heart. I'm gonna guess that it's somewhere in a tree. Wait, maybe I'm wrong. I can't find a Creaking Heart in any of these trees. Oh, wait, because it's nighttime, Creaking are starting to spawn. Okay, I think they can lead us to a Creaking Heart, and not now. Okay, now we need to hit this thing. Let's just get it to come over, and yeah, you thought, buddy. You thought. Yeah, I'm not scared of you. Show me where the Creaking Heart is. Okay, it's over there. Now, I think right here, this is the Creaking Heart. So we'll get our Silk Touch pickaxe out and mine it. And there we go. All right, so the Creaking has now disappeared, and we have a Creaking Heart. So now that we have this Creaking Heart, we can place it inside this enclosure. Actually, before we spawn a Creaking, it would probably be a good idea to decorate this thing first. Now, to get the Creaking in here, if we break this block and put a Creaking Heart here, the Creaking should spawn somewhere, and there it is. Now we let it run all the way over to us by not looking at it. Like this. Oh my goodness, that was such good timing. Now with the Creaking trapped, we can go back to what we were doing before, which was looking for a snowy mountain to try and find the Screaming Goat. Now, I don't think this snowy mountain's going to be big enough for goats to spawn. Oh wait, no, it is. Okay, here is a goat. Now the Screaming Goat has a 2% chance to spawn. And well, the way you get it is by finding a goat that screams really loudly. I mean, it's kind of in the name. So let's hit this thing and see if it screams. I mean, it is screaming, but that's not the scream we're looking for. So let's keep on looking. And oh my goodness. Now there's literally 3 goats in this entire mountain. So it's time for us to relocate. We need more goats. This is exactly what I'm looking for. And look at the amount of goats So let's see if any of these goats are screaming goats. All right, I've been flying around this mountain for ages and no luck. I think we may have to find another mountain. Okay, maybe we'll have better luck here. Wait. That's it. That's it. Oh my goodness. Okay, this thing needs to be moved to like the impossible section or something because this was so hard to find. All right, let's get a name tag for you. Okay, now we just have to bring you home. Now, before we take you back to your new enclosure, do you have anything to say? Oh, I guess we'll just take you to your new home then. And I'll make sure to decorate it like a snowy mountain. Now, I am super happy that we got this rare mob, but having it in here is going to make things really loud because you literally hear this every time you come in here. Yeah. Now for the next two mobs that I want to collect, I want to see if we can get lucky and get two at the same time. Now these mobs are the invisible spider and skeleton spider jockey. Now the reason I want to get both of these next is because the way that you get them is very similar. Because not only do they both spawn at nighttime, but they can also both just be found anywhere. In fact, I'm pretty sure the chances of finding a skeleton spider jockey is 1%. Now, although 1% sounds like a really low chance, that's actually pretty high when you compare it to some of the super rare mobs that we're going to have to find later. Anyway though, I guess for now, we'll just fly around until we find one of these two mobs. Now, the thing that would make this much faster is if we could despawn all these mobs and spawn a new set of mobs in. In fact, let me try something. So if we fly up, do all of the mobs despawn? Okay, they're out of our render distance, but let's just keep on going up. And now if we go back down, will it spawn in a complete fresh set of mobs? Wait, yeah, they're all just spawning in. Okay, so that does work. Okay, I guess let's just keep doing this until we find one of the mobs. Come on, please. We need to find this thing before daytime. Because if we don't, we're just gonna have to wait for another nighttime again. No, no, no. The sun's rising. We're gonna have to wait an entire day before we can look for these mobs again. But you know what? Instead of wasting this day doing nothing, I know what we could do to get a better chance at finding these mobs. We could just flatten out a bunch of this ground so that if one of these mobs spawn, they'll be so much easier to spot. Okay, flattening out this area definitely seems to be working. I mean, just take a look at all the mobs spawning. Like, look under us right now. That is so many mobs, but none of them are the ones that we need. Now, the thing is with these two mobs, it comes down to complete luck. It could either take 1 day to find them or 1,000 days to find them. Wait, it's lightning as well. Wait! Oh, yes! No way! No way! We just got skeleton horse trap. This is one of the super rare mobs that I was meant to find later, but we just found it now. Oh no, it's coming up to daytime. These guys are gonna die to the sun. Let's trap this one down here. Come on, please. Just go down. Oh my goodness. All right, let's cover it so it doesn't die to the sun. And then, of course, when it's nighttime, we can transport it back over to the rare mob area. Now, although the skeleton horse trap is a super rare mob, you can actually make it even rarer. If we head over to the snow biome, we can grab some powdered snow in these buckets. And, well, if we put the powdered snow on the skeleton like this, it should transform the skeleton into a husk. Any minute now. There we go. So we now have a husk riding a skeleton horse, which makes the regular skeleton trap even rarer. Anyway, though, it's now nighttime, so let's try and get this thing back to the rare mob area. Now, the best way to do this is get this thing to follow us like this. So let's go down here, and oh, take a look at that. It's shooting the zombie. Yeah, get it. Oh, wait, no, that means the zombie's going to attack it. No, 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 no. I just did all of that for absolutely nothing. I'm speechless, guys. I didn't think that would happen. All we have left is you. I mean, on the bright side, next time we get one, I'll be much more careful getting it back to its enclosure. Now, you know what would really cheer me up is finding the invisible spider and the skeleton jockey. Because, of course, they were the mobs that we were looking for originally. Now, finding both of these mobs are going to be our toughest challenge yet. You see, after looking around for absolutely ages to try and find these mobs, I was eventually able to find the skeleton spider jockey. But seeing as I didn't actually have a plan to get this thing back to its enclosure, it ended up suffocating while I was trying to trap it. That was fine, though, because I was then able to find a second one, but whilst I was naming the name tags for it, it despawned. And well, from here, things just got worse. The third one ended up dying to the sun, the fourth one suffocated in a minecart, the fifth one somehow fell into the ocean, which made the skeleton dismount the spider, and then the sixth one that I found also ended up falling in the ocean. Also, keep in mind that this mob has a 1% chance to spawn, so every time I was failing, I would have to wait so long for a new one. Anyway, for the seventh one, I ended up covering it with dirt so it didn't die to the sun. I then even made a minecart system going all the way from the rare mob area over to where I trapped the mob, and well, when I got the mob in the minecart and brought it all the way back to its enclosure, it ended up falling off the tracks and suffocating in the wall. Now, luckily, after failing all of these times, I was not going to fail again. So, on my final attempt, I managed to get this thing in the minecart and bring it back to the rare mob area without it dying. But I was not done. We now had to get the invisible spider, which I somehow found right next to the minecart trail that I had built for the spider jockey. Now, this thing does have a 20% chance to spawn, so I guess finding it this fast wasn't that surprising. I'm just more surprised that I actually spotted this thing. I mean, it's completely invisible. Anyway, though, I got it in the minecart and sent it back to the rare mob area. Alright, right, there we go. After so much work, we have got these mobs. So let's grab a bunch of blocks to decorate their enclosures. And boom, we have the skeleton spider jockey trapped. And we also have the invisible spider. So with both of these mobs trapped, we now only need one more mob in the very rare section before we move on to the super rare mobs. Now, this very rare mob is located in the rarest structure in the game, the Woodland Mansion. And well, the mob is of course the Evoker. So let's buy a Woodland Explorer map, and using it, we can fly directly to a Woodland Mansion. So let's head inside and look for an Evoker. Wait, that's one right there. I almost just died. But on the bright side, we found an Evoker. Yeah, there it is. Okay, I think it would be a good idea to set up a nether portal so we can transport this thing. And now let's head inside to get on the roof of the nether. And now that we're here, let's build the other portal. Now we just have to get this thing into a minecart. Okay, let's try it. Let's just go. Come on, get in. Get in. Come on. Okay, try getting the boat, maybe? Yes, it's in the boat. Okay, we need to get on the track. There we go. It's going. Okay, it's going on the track. Oh, wow. Let's not die to these vexes. There's a lot. Wait, is it going to go in the portal? It's gone in the portal. Oh, my goodness. Let's go. Now, before we hop in the portal and try and get this thing back home, let's, of course, grab some blocks from this Woodland Mansion to decorate its enclosure. Anyway, though, now for the hard part. Let's name tag this thing and get it back home. And the way we'll do this is by placing rails going from here all the way to our other portal. Okay, we're at the portal, so let's send the minecart and hope the Evoker gets in. Okay, perfect. Now just go through the portal. Yes. Let's go. Now, because of how annoying the Evoker can be, instead of bringing it here and then decorating the enclosure, we should probably just do the decorating first. So let's do it. Now, by using tinted glass for this enclosure, the Evoker won't be able to see us from inside here, which will stop it from spawning vexes. Anyway, though, let's get to placing rails, leading all the way back over to the Evoker. And just like that, we can trap this thing in its enclosure by placing back down the tinted glass. And just like this, we have collected the final very rare mob, the Evoker, which means it is now time to move on to the super rare mobs. Now, the super rare mobs are extremely hard to find. And well, let's start off with the first one, which is the pink sheep. Now, this thing has a 0.164% chance of spawning. Now, to find a naturally spawned pink sheep, we are going to need to do a bunch of exploring. So I think it would be a smart idea to make a bunch of fireworks, because the amount of flying that we're going to have to do to find a pink sheep is probably quite a lot. Now, I guess to find this mob, there's really nothing else we can do apart from fly around. So let's do exactly that until we find it. Wait. Oh, I thought it was a pig, but it's not. It's a pink sheep. You don't know how long you took to find, buddy. You are coming with me because we have a long way to go home. Okay, we've almost got the first super rare mob back to its enclosure. Welcome to your new home, buddy. Now for the pink sheep, it's pretty obvious how we're going to decorate its enclosure. We'll make sure it has, well, a lot of pink. Now the next super rare mob that we need to catch is one that we already did technically find earlier, but well, it of course died. So it's time to get it back. The mob that we're of course talking about is the skeleton horse trap. And well, because we name tagged the one that we found earlier, it's still here and hasn't despawned. So what I'm hoping we can do with this guy is that when a thunderstorm starts, we can hit it with our trident, and I'm hoping it will let us turn this one into a skeleton horse trap. Oh, hold on a second. That's definitely a thunderstorm. So let's test this out. Will it work on this skeleton horse? And no, we're gonna have to find a new one. You've got to be kidding me. Oh, there we go. We have one right here. Let's go. Oh, let's go. Now let's try and just bring one of these guys back. Now I wonder if I can get one into a minecart. Apparently not. Wait. I can put the horse on a lead. How did I not know about this sooner? I mean, the only bad thing about this is I just keep getting hit by arrows, but I do not care. This is so fast. Okay, the rare mob area is right below us. So let's just get this horse to follow us down here. And now we'll just run in the mob area. Okay, perfect. It's in there. Oh yeah, and let's also use the powdered snow that we found earlier to turn this thing into a husk. Okay, the skeleton's shaking, so it should be transforming. Okay, there we go. So now that we've collected the husk riding the skeleton horse, it is now time for us to try and collect a mob that most Minecraft players would consider to be the most rare. And now the mob I'm talking about is the Blue Axelottal. And now the reason most people think that this is the rarest mob in the game is because it has a 1 in 1,200 chance to spawn. So yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of axolotl breeding. Now we of course first need to find 2 axolotls to start breeding them. And would you look at that, there's 2 right next to each other. So now that we have them, let's find a place to breed them. Now to breed axolotls, you of course need tropical fish. Now seeing as tons of tropical fish spawn in this ocean right next to our house, let's make this our axolotl breeding area. So what we'll do is build a small box that we can fill with water, and now that we have this, we can put the axolotls inside and start breeding. Anyway though, I've just realized something. The breeding process is going to start off super slow, because at moments like this when we've just bred the axolotls, we can't breed them again for a while. But wait a minute, what happens if we try and get 2 rare mobs at one time? We could be trying to get the blue axolotl here, but then maybe we could extend an area out here to try and get another mob that requires breeding called the brown panda. Now luckily for us, there is a jungle right here. So bringing pandas back to the breeding area should be pretty easy. All right, just like that, the pandas are now here. So let's start breeding them. Oh wait, to breed pandas, you have to place bamboo down. So I'm pretty sure that if we do something like this, they should now breed because there's bamboo in the area. And there we go. All right, so I guess for the next few days of my life, I'm just going to be collecting tropical fish, breeding axolotls, and breeding pandas. So yeah, this could take a while. Okay, so we've done a good amount of breeding, but still no signs of the rare mobs yet. So I guess let's just keep on going. Yes, just as I expected, we got the brown panda before we got the blue axolotl. Obviously, because it's the less rare out of the two. But now, can we get this thing in a boat? All right, yes, we can. And then we can attach this boat to a lead so we can bring it back home. Also, I'm going to be honest, the brown panda is way rarer than I thought. That took forever. Anyway, though, we will put you in here. Let's also not forget to give you a name tag. And now it's time to head back over here to continue to try and get the blue axolotl. And I'm going to be honest, even if we somehow did get it, I don't know how I would see it with all these axolotls. Anyway, I guess we'll just keep going. Wait, I swear I see it. Wait! No. That was not a blue axolotl, was it? That was not a blue one. There's no way. It's been so long. It's been so long. I swear I saw it. That had to be it. Wait, we did! We did! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Oh, yes! Yes! Yes, that is it! Alright, let's see. Yeah, that is a blue axolotl right there. Oh my goodness. Getting this thing has definitely been one of the most time-consuming things I have ever had to do. Like, look how many axolotls we even had to breed in the first place. So now, if we head in our rare mob area, not only do we have the rarest panda, but we also now have the rarest axolotl. Anyway, though, let's pick it up, because not only do we now have to make an enclosure for the brown panda, but we'll also make a really cool one for the blue axolotl. Alright, so now that we have the brown panda captured, and also the blue axolotl, there is only 2 more mobs for us to capture. One of those mobs being the armored chicken jockey. Now, a chicken jockey without armor has a 0.25% chance to spawn. So if I'm able to find one with armor, that would be even rarer. And well, the way that I'm going to try and get this mob is by building a mob farm that will filter out every single chicken jockey that spawns. Now, the way that we'll filter these mobs so only the chicken jockeys can get through is by putting some water here, and then right here we'll put some magma blocks, and then behind these magma blocks we'll put slabs, and then what this should do is make it so all of the tall mobs die, but the chicken jockeys are small enough to fit under here, which means they'll get placed in this box that I'm building here. Alright, so now that all the chicken jockeys can get in here, I'm going to replace this entire wall with glass. And well, by having glass here, I can look in and see what chicken jockeys we get. Now, all of the mobs in this farm are above here, so I need to break it to let them all drop down. I think if I stand out the farm and break all these blocks, they should drop down. Oh my goodness. That is a lot of mobs. But if we look over here, it is working. No mobs can get through. But it also looks like there's no chicken jockey, so I don't think any have spawned yet. Which makes sense because they're obviously super rare. Anyway, though, now that we know everything is working, let's sit in here for absolutely ages until we get some chicken jockeys. Now, we are getting chicken jockeys, but none of these guys have armor. So let's just keep on waiting until we get a rare chicken jockey. Okay, this is the rarest chicken jockey that I've seen so far. And although I would really like to find the chicken jockey with full diamond armor, I kind of feel like the chances of that happening is impossible. So instead, we'll just collect this chicken jockey. I mean, it's holding an iron sword and it's in full gold armor. Now, we just need to give the chicken a name tag and also the zombie. And because it has a helmet, it shouldn't burn to sunlight. So let's just grab it with our lead and bring it back to the rare mob area. And the cool thing about transporting a chicken jockey is that even if it falls off the lead, it won't die of full damage because chickens can fly. Anyway, though, now that we have this thing in the rare mob area, we'll make his enclosure look like a mob spawner. Now, at this point, we have one final rare mob to get. And well, the reason this mob is so rare is because almost no one has it. And to even get it, I have to change my world version to a snapshot. Now, the mob I'm talking about is the Happy Ghast. Now, the Happy Ghast is basically a ghast that you can tame and fly. So let's quickly update my world to the latest snapshot version. All right, we are in the latest snapshot, which means we should be able to get the Happy Ghast. Now, to get the Happy Ghast, we have to find a dried ghast here in the Nether. And I'm pretty sure the best place to find a dried ghast is here in a Soul Sand Valley. Because in a Soul Sand Valley, you can find these bone structures. And, well, you can find a dried ghast under them. Now, this one doesn't have one, so let's keep looking around. Now, I'm seeing some bones over here, so let's check it out. Hold up, wait a second, I think I see one. Yep, that is definitely a dried ghast, so I'm pretty sure if we mine it, we can pick it up. Okay, there we go. So now we have to take this thing back to the overworld, and now that we're here, we have to put the dried ghast in water just like that. And now that we've done this, any minute, it should turn into a ghastling. And to grow a ghastling into a happy ghast, you need snowballs. So while we wait for the dried ghast to turn into a ghastling, let's collect a bunch of snowballs. And now that we have all of these snowballs, we'll just wait for this thing to grow. Wait, there it is. There's the ghastling. I wasn't even paying attention. It just flew off. Okay, we now need to feed it all of the snowballs that we got, and hopefully it should grow up into a happy ghast. Okay, I've almost ran out of snowballs. Oh, wait, that is That is the happy gas, I think. Yeah, we can't feed it any more snowballs, so that should be it fully grown. Now, I did collect the stuff to make a harness for this thing, which is basically just a saddle for the happy ghast. So I'm pretty sure if we do that, there we go. We can make a red harness. All right, so let's grab this. All right, come here, buddy. If I put this on, I should be able to fly you. All right, stay there. Let me get on. There we go. Oh my goodness, this is so cool. And now I'm pretty sure we can actually get off and stand on top of the happy ghast. Look at that. Yeah, this is one of the best mobs in the game. Anyway, though, I'm gonna go ahead and fly my happy ghast around. And I mean, now that we even have this, we have officially collected every single rare mob in Minecraft Hardcore. So thank you guys for watching, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.